Welcome to Mage Wars. I'm Gerding, and today we're going to talk about those little factories that can help you release and summon creatures. Those are called spawn points. Let's take a look. Spawn points. Conjurations with the spawn point trait have the ability to cast spells for you. This is sweet. You select spells for your spawn points during the planning phase at the same time you choose spells for your mage to prepare. So that's one additional spell for each spawn point you control. Usually the spawn point can only cast certain types of spells, and these spells are listed on the spawn points card. Place the spell face down near your spawn point and tell your opponent that this is the spawn point spell. Only your spawn point may cast that spell during the round. So when does that spawn point cast that spell? It doesn't have its own action marker, so it casts that spell during the deployment phase. Both players may cast these assigned spells, starting with the player who has initiative. If you cast your spell, pay the casting cost and resolve the spell. If you do not or cannot cast a spell, it returns to your spell book at the beginning of the next planning phase. If a spawn point is destroyed, any spell still assigned to it is also destroyed. So careful what spells you're assigning to the spawn point if you know that it can't cast that spell. Most spawn points also have a channeling attribute, which means that they provide their own mana during the channeling phase. Track the spawn point's mana with mana counters. Spawn points cast spells the same way your mage does, using the target and range shown on the spell. Always count range from the spawn point instead of your mage. So the spawn point must spend its own mana first by removing the mana counters. If the spawn point does not have enough mana to cast a spell, you must pay the difference from your mage's mana supply. Let's look at an example. Here we have the Beastmaster, and the Beastmaster has summoned the Lair. The Lair is his spawn point, and it has a channeling attribute of 2. Each channeling phase, he places 2 mana counters on the Lair. Now during the planning phase, he may choose an additional animal creature spell from his spellbook and declare that spell for his Lair. Now it has to be an animal creature because on the Lair it specifically says that it can only cast animal creature spells. Then, in the deployment phase, the Lair may cast that creature spell, spending any mana counters on the Lair first, and it has to be that first. If the spell requires more mana, the rest comes from the Beastmaster's mana supply pool. So there's spawn points. Now, there's something interesting about spawn points. Each mage has his or her own unique spawn point. So check it out. It gives that little extra flavor to each mage. Well, that's it for now. Join us next time as we go through all the different spell types. I'm Gerding, and I'll see you in the arena.